What is up, guys? Chevy Brother checking back in with you guys with another update video. What you got here? You guys are looking at the C10 sitting on the ground, staying stout. I wanted to give you guys a shot of her being on the floor or the ground. She is truly slammed. Okay, have you guys ever seen a stampede slammed, a stampede 4x4 slammed that low? Have you guys seen that? Okay, now mind you, you see the body? The body is sitting on the post. Okay, look at how low she slammed. Okay, I'll give you a shot of the rear end there. She slammed. Haven't really done much different, anything different with the truck here. Went to the World of Wheels. This sticker is representing the Chi-Town's King of the Streets. That's actually an event that's going on at Union Grove Dragaway sometime in June. The exact show date, go on Facebook. You can get that if you guys are interested in that. You're going to be in the Chicagoland area around that time. They're going to be doing a nice street outlaw style drag racing event. But anyway, getting back to the truck, I haven't really done too much anything different. We got the 1512 Castle knockoff motor in there. That's a Chinese knockoff. The steering servo, that's basically built out of some old stuff I had laying around, servo case, gears, internals, all that. It's kind of Frankenstein together, but it works for now. I took like 3 different servos apart and put this one together, so it works okay. It's pretty responsive. We're going to put it out, test it. The receiver I have here, that's what all this wire is from. It's an old XL5 TQ receiver. It had the metal tip on there. It came off the antenna, so the reception is like garbage on this thing. But I put it in there because the other radio system I had, it came out the Latrax Teton. And I was out running. I was working on the truck. Forgot to put the top on the receiver box case here. Took it out, full tilt boogie down the street. This falls out. Boom, gone down the street. I don't know where it is. It flew out. So that's why I had to put that old beat up radio in there just to run the truck, to set everything and put it back together. So that's why that's in there. So basically that's why this truck's set up to just put around my house. The gearing is not set on kill, is just set to run. I don't want to lose the truck going down the street, so I haven't really been running it on the street. This gear ratio, I'll go ahead and share it. It's 19 on the pinion, 38 on the spur, Mod 1 gears. This pinion came out of an XL1 Traxxas. The spur came out of a Traxxas Revo. Okay. The clutch that's in there, it has a Revo clutch. As you guys can see, it has the aluminum clutch shoes in there. So I did that upgrade on that too. There's also the ball bearing kit for that. That's in there. The aluminum sleeve, not the plastic sleeve, but the aluminum one. That's in there too. Got the stock Traxxas drive shaft, or the Traxxas aluminum drive shaft in there. You guys can see that. That's in there. Battery power. That's 3S 50C burst. Power Hobby 5500 milliamp hour. Soft case. That's why it's wrapped in the electrical tape. But it is 3S. Okay. This truck has really no smoke, no mirrors. Basically, budget things. Okay. It's got RPM A-arms in it. The drive shafts are heavy duty axle tubes that I put in there. I put these drive shafts together. I bought all the pieces separate. You can get the part numbers and order the tubes and make your own drive shafts is basically what I did. That's why they're so short like that. Because I figured if you make them short and double them up like that, they're a lot stronger, to handle this big block power. On the front here, we got RPM A-arms in there too. Stock drive shafts, but they're not the heavy duties, okay? If you guys can see, they're the medium duty drive shafts. VXL camber links, turnbuckles, everything on the front. Roller bearings. I got the RPM kit for the C-hubs and the axle carriers in there. The axle, or the The hub adapters are MIP 17 millimeter. I'm a firm believer of using the MIPs because these are actually a whole nut that fits the whole wheel on there, rather than like the Traxxas design with that center nut that if you put Loctite on, you know, with the torque of a big motor like that, they're going to fly off anyway with Loctite. So I'm a firm believer of using these. Okay, now the bell crank, you see that in there, that is not stock. That's an aluminum bell crank. That's STRC. I think I picked it up for like 17 bucks. You know, the shocks on here are GTR shocks off of a Revo 3.3. Blue label springs in the back. In the front are orange. Okay, she slammed all the way to the ground. See that there? That's how you set your shocks if you want your Traxxas Tellurides, Stampede, slash whatever. That's how you slam them to the ground like that. See how the shocks are set? The holes, you pitch them all the way in to the front like that. The bottom, you pitch them out. Boom, there you go, slammed on the ground. Same thing with the rear. See that? They're pitched all the way in the rear, pitched all the way out. Boom. That's how you slam it all the way down. Then you set your shocks. You crank that preload adjuster. You crank that bad boy all the way down. Now, what you want to do when you're running a big motor like this, you don't want to crank the springs super tight. You want to have some kind of weight transfer, meaning you want it to squat a little bit so you can transfer the torque to the wheels, so you're not just making a hit on the street and your truck's just bouncing. You see what I'm saying? So you want to leave some give in your suspension so that, you know, like us guys here running in Chicago, you know, the streets are not all the way flat. You're going to have like a crown in the street or anything like that. So you always want to leave a little give in your suspension so that when you're going down the street, you're not like riding a solid hard board. You want to leave some give in it. You know what I mean? So you guys got to play with it, make a couple hits down the street, couple test runs, boom, you guys get the hang of that. Okay, I'm going to get, hold on 1 second. I'm going to show you F-bomb. All right, here's F-bomb. This is basically F-bomb. For your new subscribers, I've had this car ever since I got into the RC hobby. I've been in the RC hobby for about 3 years now. This car has really been through pure hell. There's been about 6 or 7 different versions of the Traxxas Rustler that I've built. My personal fastest run that I've made was 65 miles an hour with this car. Well, a version of this car, I should say, not this exact one because it's been rebuilt. But with the OG black one I had, with the similar body on here that was all murdered out on black GRP similar to that, I did 65 miles an hour with a Castle Funny Car motor. That's really a rebranded Castle 1415 motor. I had a Turnigy 25C burst battery. I only paid like 25 bucks for the battery. And I had that hobby store ESC in there and went 65 miles an hour on Mod 1 gears. I'll give you guys a gear ratio that I used. It was the Funny Car motor. It was Mod 1 gears. The gear ratio was 20 on the pinion, and on the spur was 36. And the spur came out of a E-Revo. Yeah. So that's the gear ratio that got me 65 miles an hour on 4S with a crappy tune. But anyway, I'll show you guys what's under the hood of this in a second. Check out the body. That's why I did the funky paint job on there. Look at it twinkle in the light. Look at the glitter dance in the paint. Check it out. I haven't had this car outside to see how it looks in the sun, but really the camera does this no justice. This thing twinkles like a disco ball. I built this car from the ground up. Well, the original Rustler I had, the very first one, let me take that back. The original Rustler I had, I bought an XL5 out of the box. I paid $250 for it. I bought it from a local hobby store. I had the car maybe 10 minutes and wrecked the first one, okay? And then it just went downhill from there. So that's how F-bomb got its name. If you watch my previous videos, you'll see my progress with the Rustler. I had the Rustler for about 2 years, building it, testing it, tuning it, trials, errors. You know, this car's been on fire. It hit a parked car. It hit a fire hydrant. It hit a couple fences. I mean, there's been times I've taken this car out and ran it and literally brought the thing home with a dustpan, swept it up off the street in pieces, okay? But I know that's part of the RC hobby, and that's what makes it fun because, you know, this car has been rebuilt so much and it's taken me so far, and I've learned so many things about, RC cars working on this. This is a good starting platform right here. If you're getting into the RC world and a very simple setup, this will do it for the Rustler here. I'll go ahead and crack the hood and show you guys what's going on. Okay. Now, for your budget-minded people, if you want to build a nice car, you can actually build a car that uses the whole complete RPM line and actually build a very solid car that won't, keep breaking every time you run it or something, falls off of it. I have the whole RPM setup on here, the A-arms, the axle carriers, the shock towers and everything on this car. The bulkhead you're looking at is a Atomic RC. That's aluminum. The reason why I put an aluminum one on here is to actually help with front end weight, because I've learned from the way my car is set up, when I run an aluminum bulkhead, it actually helps keep the nose down. It actually gives it more weight. So that's why I run aluminum. But my shock towers are RPM. Shocks are Traxxas Big Bore. Those came off of a Telluride. They were on the Telluride when I bought it, actually. I don't know if they were stock or whatever, but the person who I bought it from put those on there with those springs. So I just put them on this car. The tires are actually Anaconda. Those are for the Bandit. That's why they're small. I'm actually using those as a front runner setup, kind of. There's no steering servo in here yet. I took it out. This top plate, the reason why it looks so nasty, because all the mishaps and everything, every single car that I built, every Rustler, that top plate was in. That's why it looks so nasty and so dirty. I refuse to clean it. I refuse to buy a new one. That's been here ever since I bought my first Traxxas XL5 Rustler in the box. But anyway, this is the Florian 2S battery. This is 5200 milliamp hour. Nothing's wired up. Everything's in here just on a mock-up status. Those are GTR shocks too. I just threw those in for mock-up, but those are white label. What you're looking at, yeah, we are setting it up for Mod 1 gears. We're going to do something about that clutch too, because I'm going to put aluminum shoes in here. I had that clutch in the truck. That's why she's wore out. You guys see the shoes, they're pretty smoked because I ran this clutch with the big block. Okay, RPM A-arms in the back, stock axles. You see in there, that's the aluminum axle carriers from Traxxas. There's actual roller bearings in there. The hub adapters are the Traxxas aluminum ones. What you guys are looking at is the back of the Traxxas XO1 wheel. I got those on there for now, just on a mock-up status, but we might actually run the car with that. My only fears about running this big tire is the stock axles, because if you see the U-joints in there, I don't know if those can handle this big tire with a big motor. Okay, now the transmission case you're looking at, this is not the stock case. This is the RPM case also. Okay, all the internals in here are bone stock. What I did is I went on eBay, bought a brand new, just stock transmission, the 2075 tranny. Took all the guts out, greased it up, rebuilt it, slapped it in this case. All right, excuse me. This case right here that you're looking at is the one that went 65 miles an hour. Okay, you can do it with an RPM case. All right, I didn't cut it. It's bone stock. I didn't do anything. All I did was I slapped a funny car motor in there with the Mod 1 gears, as you see there. And this bad boy sung like a sewing machine. Okay. Now the cover that goes on this transmission case, they say once you run Mod 1 gears, you can't fit the case on here. Yes, you can. Now this 40 tooth that's in here, okay, as you guys can see, that 40 tooth gear in there, that's only for mock-up. But I had a 36 in here with a 19 on the pinion in this transmission and was able to put the case on here and run with no rubs, no issues. That's all I got for now. Rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and as always, keep RCing and keep wrenching. Peace.